Good afternoon, Daniel, Tracy, and the two other people who watch these videos, a few others. It's Saturday afternoon, and just a little recap or after action report of what's going on after this election. The battle is still going on, but things are still happening. And just thought I'd just bring up some items that may be of interest to y'all. And happened to notice that our other Democratic senator in Pennsylvania, Fetterman, the hoodie, he came out this week and said that joining the frustrations of many Democrats, but pretty open and honest about it. He said that he slammed Nancy Pelosi, saying she got what she wanted. Biden dropped out of the election, and the result was Harrison lost. And Joe Rogan, who's a famous podcaster, had over 300 million views when he interviewed President Trump, I think. He said that from what he understood, now that Biden really does hate Harris for what she did to him, and that according to the chuckles behind the cameras, that when he met with Trump, he was smiling with him and they're enjoying it. And he said Joe believes that Biden even voted for Trump, along with his wife, Dr. Jill, who on election day was wearing a bright red jumpsuit as she voted, and she was very smiling and happy, even though many Democrats weren't quite so. And speaking of the voting, here in Pennsylvania, we still have the outstanding Senate that's contested by the Democrats, and their normal game plan is to recount until they get the right votes. Then they declare victory. Well, they've run into a little bit of a problem with that because the courts are adhering to the rules a little bit. And the Philadelphia Inquirer put out an article that said that in Bucks County, as an example, Diane, had long difficulty with names, but I think it's Mars E. Layacid. So I'll just call her Diane. After a ruling of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that said they would not allow certain votes to be counted, she spoke and the Inquirer quoted her saying, "I think we all know that precedent set by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country. People violate laws anytime they want. So for me, I will violate this law because I want a court to pay attention. There's nothing more than counting votes." That's my yes. Well, I'd like to correct Diane. You may follow Stalin's belief when he said, it's not important who votes. It's most important who counts the votes. No, Diane, the most important is not what you think at counting the votes. The most important thing in any election is a fair and honest election, followed by the rules and laws. But we know that from the Democratic Party, this is what we expect. We're just seeing the tip of the corruption and management and the downright hatred of Democrats have had for American citizens. As an example, they completely ignore the rules and regulations of FEMA. Marla Washington ordered her staff to avoid assisting homes that had a Trump sign in them. And she went on to say that after she was fired, that this corruption goes far up in the FEMA organization, and it had affected other hurricanes and other disasters, probably like the one in Ohio where they completely ignored the railroad crashing. And there is a scandal of titanic proportions that's brewing in the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. So we'll see what happens as the new broom comes in. And before the new broom gets there, the Justice Department is still trying to lock up 76ers, or not 76ers, J6ers. A family of 5 in Texas were indicted this week for walking through the Capitol on January 6th. And they're still issuing indictments and arrest warrants, I guess, for the people involved. This guy behind me looks familiar. I haven't got any indictments or arrests on me as yet, at any rate. And the truth will come out what that beautiful day was. And perhaps someday I'll share what my experience was on that day. And so even after this election, we have to be prepared to continue to fight and help to right the ship of state, because it has been under horrible management. And as John Wayne once put it, this ain't gonna be easy. Trump is smart, very, very smart, surrounding himself with brilliant and courageous people, not afraid to fight. You look at RFK Jr., he's been fighting Big Pharma for over 30 years in the food industries and the food additives and the like. And he's going to be in charge of the health, our food and the like. And the one of the other superstars is Matt Gaetz, a Republican of Florida, a super MAGA congressman who fought with and for Trump the entire time. He's the strongest vote, the strongest voice in Congress. And he helped engineer and fought to out that rhino House Speaker McCarthy. And the hatred McCarthy has for Gaetz knows no limit. But Gaetz is just a real fireball. And then we have Trump has chosen a former Democratic Congresswoman, Tulsi Gabbard. She's a colonel in the Army. And when she lost favor with the Democrats, they had her followed, said she's a Russian, and anybody they're against is a Russian so-and-so. People forget that in the Russians helped way back even in founding our country. They fought in the First World War with the United States. They fought in the Second World War, and they were responsible for the major casualties inflicted upon the Nazis to win that war. The Russians fighting the Nazis had lost over 27 million people. They were our allies. After 9/11, they opened up their country to allow Americans, the military, to come into their countries to help to eradicate the terrorists. And so we should bear in mind the history of it, of Russia. And they're a republic. They're not a communist country anymore. They're a republic. Like the United States are 3 forms of government, or 3 stools of government. And then Of course, the other chap that um, Trump is bringing on is Elon Musk. And yikes, when you look at the quality of people that Trump is assembling, these are all dedicated, true, hardworking, courageous Americans. And compare those to the Biden cabinet. When you have Pete Buttigieg, a bra-wearing, breastfeeding, new, as I get my own, I have to shut my teeth back in. He's a bra-wearing, breastfeeding new father. And his husband, I forget his name, but quite an asset. And then you have the she admiral who prances around in an admiral's dress uniform. He's a, well, whatever. Right? And then you have Mayorkas, who's in charge of the border. And and we all know what a fiasco that thing is. And discrediting, and he's also in charge of FEMA, so he helped discredit that. And of course, the Attorney General himself has brought disgrace to the Justice Department and the FBI. But the Democrats are doing what they always do. They're hateful as a party. They're full of hate, and they're throwing tantrums. So be aware. There's not going to be a normal, smooth transition because they're not normal, law-abiding citizens. But let us see what Trump said he's going to do when he raises his hand. I think he has 10 points, he said. He's going to immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats. 2, he's going to clean out corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus. Absolutely. How these people have clearances after being disgraced and leaving the intelligence office is a mystery to me. He's going to have total reform in the FISA courts, which the ones that allows the spying on us, which is so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they lied to warrant applications. And 4, expose hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart. Number 5, launch a major crackdown on government leakers who conclude with fake news to deliberately use false narratives and subvert our government and our democracy. 6, make every inspector general's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee so they don't become protectors of the deep state. The inspector general for the FBI. Who does he work for? The FBI. The inspector of the all these divisions, they work for that division. So they naturally have a tendency to take care of their buds. Number 7, ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they're not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against American people, or that they're not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. The CIA was set up that it would not have any interest or business or activities within the continental United States. That's part of their charter. And yet they violate that with their supplying propaganda to the news outfits. Number 8, continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside Washington Swamp. Well, some will be moving probably to North Dakota and maybe Missouri or whatever. But the swamp will be a little less water in that swamp with the agencies uh, going to other locations. Number 9, to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. It's a rotation door, in and out, working for the different agencies, then that they monitor, then they go to work for them, come back in the agencies. It's no wonder we're in the condition we are. And then number 10 is to push for a constitutional amendment to term limits on members of Congress. That is a much needed movement. These congressmen have been there for 20, 30 years, like Mitch McConnell and some of these others that are almost are senile, and yet they have complete control. So limited time for Congress people, which is good. And this is what just a Saturday afternoon little chip chat. And as time goes by and other things come out from behind the curtain, which the national news media is not doing, not saying what is all happening, but they're taking sides. It's going to be a barn burner before the president gets in there on January 20th and raises his hand. So, as Paul Harvey would say, have a good day.